Once again, I want to thank our sponsor, simplyjimbo.com. Thanks again. Check them out if you need any and all type of web needs. All right, so this episode is all about GOG. Actually, it's about podcasting and GOG and J. Jonah Jameson and one-shots that lead to stuff for a couple of months down the road. But first, I need to introduce the panel. Welcome back to the Spideydude Experience. I'm Zach Joyner, your friendly neighborhood host and webmaster of Spidey-Dude.com and the Spideydude Radio Network. Of course, first up, we've got the Agreeable Neil.
It's pizza time.
It is pizza time. That's right.
We're about to talk about how people talk about GOG, and I'm about to drink for it. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, he's breaking out the Mike's Hard Lemonade for those that are listening to us in the audio version of the podcast. Next up, we got P. Thuggin, dressed in the clergy garment of GOG.
Yes, according to Kelly, this is the clergy of.
Speaking of, we got Kelly in the clergy outfit of GOG. My daughter is going to be losing her mind when she sees this video.
But if you read her the story of GOG, she will cry because it is beautiful.
Yes. So we've got the two, or so what do we call them? The bishops, and you got
the archbishop, the archbishops of GOG.
You've got the cardinal without the horn.
Yeah, the cardinal is the green hoodie. I feel out of place without a hoodie. Another person that doesn't.
I'm the liar.
The one person that doesn't have the hoodie, besides myself, is Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hello. I'm happy to be back. I'm excited to talk about everyone's favorite Spider-Man character, GOG. And
exactly.
That's all I care about.
Guys, now, it's the most important character since Cindy Moon, guys. We can't understate this.
Yep.
So the one thing I did want to point out is that if you like Kelly and you want to see more of Kelly, then there is a place to do that, myself and Kelly. Mm-hmm. You can always make Mine Mayday. That's right. Make Mine Mayday, the brand new show on the Spideydude Radio Network. You can also check out. We'll have new episodes of Marvelous Women hopefully by the time this comes out, and more Amazing Spider-Man classics, Spectacular Radio, and of course more Spideydude Experience. But wait, I forgot one.
There's more.
There is more. Clone Saga Chronicles will have should have a new episode out. All of these shows are back up on your favorite podcast catchers, and if you're listening to us on a place like Spotify. All of them have their episode covers. You don't know how happy that makes me, including this show. So there you go.
Really hard.
I'm glad you're happy, Zach.
All the artwork.
I'm so happy for Zach. Makes me want to cry.
Listen. I put a lot of hours, especially into CSC, having to rebuild those and Spec Radio from having to rebuild those from scratch. So my hard work paid off. Damn it.
Yes, it did.
Also follow us on Twitter, where you can see me do a giant image dump that I did earlier. I've done it for...
You took an image dump? Like you took a bunch of Image comics and you took a dump on them?
No. I did a whole thread of just me going through the episode cards.
Oh, okay.
So... That's
I got some Image comics you can take a dump on if you want.
I mean, some of those that the only value in them is wiping your butt. So
some are good, some are good, some are
good, some are not. Some are not. But anyway, we are here to talk about a few issues today. Issues 838, 839, 840, 841, 41, 842, 843, and 844. Be sure to, if you want to follow along, I am using Comixology because I bought all these on Comixology and I paid my hard-earned money for it. So, we're going to start off with issue 37. Unfortunately, I don't have pre-written synopsis that I thought I was going to have pre-written, and they weren't. So you're going to have to listen to me ramble for about 5 minutes. All right, issue 37 is a one-shot. It is by Nick Spencer, Ryan Otley. It's called Time for a Change. The issue opens up with Peter swinging through the city, kind of reflecting on his life. He's fighting some monsters. Meanwhile, we have J. Jonah Jameson doing his best Spider-Man PS4 impression, where he's railing against Spider-Man. Actually, he's not railing against Spider-Man. He gets replaced by the Chet and Chet Show, New York's greatest show.
It's me and me.
Yeah, it's basically like Mike. It's supposed to be a riff on Mike and Mike in the morning, which is no longer in existence. So we then cut to Jonah being very pissed off that he got bumped from being the morning drive show to being the show that's on while you're at work. It's not even a lunchtime show anymore, so it's like in that tweener area. Nora is like, man, this is you need a change of scenery. So she takes him out to lunch, argues with him over the fact that he created supervillains to create his own stories. And how how she is not working for a publication that's dignified. Anyway, then she shows him on something on her phone screen. Jonah immediately accepts, and so he said he was in. So then we cut to Peter trying to fight these monsters. We get a brief aside about the clairvoyant, what happened during the 2099 arc, which was just last issue. We get a reference to Civil War II, which is the first time anybody's done that in about 5 years, it seems like. Peter then goes to Iron Man, Captain Marvel.
Can I just say I love this gag. We'll talk about it later, but I love that gag of like
there's several gags in these issues that are really, really good. So he goes to Iron Man and Carol and Reed and Black Cat. Daredevil's like, why don't you ask your good pal Wilson Fisk?
Still sore about that, huh?
A little bit. Goes to She-Hulk. Johnny's really excited. Man-Thing just shuts up.
I like that Man-Thing's there.
Just out of all the characters you could have gone to, just Man-Thing.
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 They have a bit of a relationship.
There's a... it's not a giant-sized man-thing, but it's a man-thing nevertheless.
Can we stop making that joke, please?
No.
I'm so tired of that joke.
You get mad at me for making lewd jokes, and you keep making the man-thing joke, and that's depressing.
I know.
It's the first comic anymore.
It's the first comic book dad joke that ever existed. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to.
I mean, but is that a dad joke? Because if your dad's making those jokes to you, that's a little bit inappropriate.
That's a granddad joke.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, he goes to Cap, and Cap's like, if he trusts anybody to use it responsibly, it's Peter Parker. So Peter's like, yeah. So he starts using the clairvoyant to try to like get ahead of these crimes, and he's able to make it back home just in time to watch really trash TV. Janet Van Dyne, super villain makeover. So Peter and Mary Jane, they're doing a very 2020 Skype date that involves them watching something at the same time. So Peter then falls asleep and rests well. But meanwhile, we have Kindred, who is talking in his macabre graveyard.
Guess who's back?
Back again. Sin Eater's back.
Oh,
tell a friend.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
And,
there goes the copyright strike.
Guess who's back right there? It is the Sin Eater. Da, da, da.
I mean, okay. So when are you making that music video, Neil? Or when are we finishing those lyrics?
This will come out in the in the Some of You Kids Are Okay, Don't Come to School Tomorrow music video.
Oh my god.
No.
But so real quick, when this issue first came out, like Sin Eater coming back was a big deal. Like right nowadays we've kind of gone through the song and dance with him, but like when this issue first came out, oh holy shit, it's Sin Eater, like the real one, not Emil.
Holy crap, it's Sin Eater.
Yeah. Stanley Carter.
I gotta put the E rating on this now.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, all right. This is a one shot, so I'm gonna do 38 and 39 together, but one shot. Paul, what's your thoughts on this issue? What you think of it? Real quick, we'll go around the horn.
Yeah, I think this is a great one shot kind of catch up issue for a lot of people who are either forgot what's going on before. I mean, it to me, it's tailor made for the monthly format, not just because it's a one shot, but it does a great job of recapping so much that happened before and also pushing things forward. It reminds you of what happened kind of the last couple months with the Clairvoyant, and also keeps you up to the date with the fact that Kindred's still around, and then MJ's in California. So it kind of just, but the beauty of Nick Spencer is that he's able to do that in a very entertaining way, which in a 22-page comic format, I want to say, I think that's hard to do. Not everyone can pull off what Nick did here as a one shot and just have it be an entertaining, pushing things forward, recapping us, doing all those things at once. And also, I think, like you said, the Sin Eater reveal was huge. I stay away from spoilers as much as I can, and I was blown away when he came back. Because obviously the easiest thing to do for Sin Eater is to just have someone be a copycat, right? That's what they did in Venom in that back in the 90s when they had that one of Venom's 800 million limited series back in the day.
The ongoing
that wasn't. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, like, this issue was great. I rereading it was just a blast, because I'm like, oh yeah, the Clairvoyant, and oh yeah, I forgot about that already, because whatever, because I think that's one of the weakest parts of the Nick Spencer run.
2099. Yeah, I should point out that this issue served as a very effective coda of sorts to the 2099 arc, and was infinitely more entertaining in 22 pages than the entire arc was in 5 issues.
The 2099 arc really suffered from just event fatigue and very it was just mediocre. I mean, it wasn't
I don't blame Spencer though.
I don't. I think Spencer had a 2099 idea,
and then Editorial came and said, "Hey, let's do this thing!" Bam, 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 bam.
I think the opposite. I think they came to him and said, well, "You have to have 2099 Spider-Man." He was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I think, if I remember correctly, when he was at SDCC in 2018, I think he said that Miguel was his second favorite Spider-Man.
Oh, no shit.
But I'm not totally sure on that. I think he did, because someone asked that, and I can't remember. I think most people said Miles or something, and he said Miguel, if I remember correctly.
I want to point out something, and I know we're supposed to be going around doing grades, but something that I really got a kick out of was Spencer constantly making fun of Civil War II. Like, there's a panel that deliberately mocks Civil War II, and
really?
then you have the 9 panels with the characters, and then the only thing Carol and Tony can say is, what does this other person say?
Yeah. What did Tony say?
Like,
see,
no.
I didn't read it like that. I didn't read it like that. I read it. I mean, I think he's poking fun, maybe, but I didn't think it was a full-on making fun of thing, because he actually references the fact that, last time we did this with the Clairvoyant, we had it didn't go so well.
It might be a tonal thing because of the way Peter treats it. Like, he kind of just brushes off and says, we don't really talk about that, and then the immediate follow-up is Carol and Tony blaming each other for...
Well, the whole 9-panel grid is great, because that's the thing. I don't know. I mean, maybe Nick Spencer hates it. I don't know, but I didn't read it as like, it's making fun of it, because
I don't think he hates it, but I think he's smart enough to read the room and understand what people think of it.
I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was very good, but I didn't hate it either. So I think there was worse ones than that.
It was like a lot of these
really
events
bad
lately.
timing.
I think it was really bad timing, but also it just was unnecessary.
The only good thing about it was David Marquez's art.
Yeah, exactly.
Art was very good. The art was very, very good.
Speaking of art, in this issue with Ryan Otley, it's fantastic.
Yes.
So, Kelly, what do you think of this one shot?
I mean, from what I remember, because I unfortunately did not have enough time to do my research today, but from what I remember, I really liked it. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it, and I mean, I like Otley's art, so
yes,
it's a solid issue.
I miss Otley.
Also, I want to point out. I'm sorry, I keep cutting in, but something I did enjoy was that Peter stopped whatever he could, not just like the big stuff, but like he stopped the Fast Five, which I thought was a really good use of obscure villains that only Al Ewing uses, and like he went around helping just regular people. Like, there's no such thing as something too small. And I thought that
it felt like the friendly neighborhood.
The friend and neighborhood vibe. And I thought
that
was much appreciated.
Like a day in the life of,
especially after like the world-ending cataclysm stakes of 2099. This felt like a really good back to base. Like, every 30 or so, every 15 or so issues, Spencer kind of drags us back into the everyday life of Peter Parker kind of deal and reminds us what makes him so fun.
And I like that stuff.
After Last Remains, we'll see how that goes.
Oh boy.
Storm and Norman.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Oh no.
God. I didn't read it, but I saw it. So, but that'll be fine.
Anyway, so like I say, time for a change. What's your guys' grades? I give this an A-.
I'd give it an A+.
A+?
I'd give it an A.
Yeah, I'd give it an A.
Paul gave it an A. And A's all around.
Yeah, the art is good. It's fun. It's a nice little breather.
Ding.
To me, this really quickly, it sums up what I think the monthly format can do.
Right.
I love it, and I love it when comics like these can do that. They show the power of the monthly format, and this is a great example of that.
This reminds me, if you guys haven't watched the live stream of Make My Mayday, I encourage you to do so. And one of the things that we talked about towards the end of the episode was how much of a lost art writing comics is, and writing comics that are tailored to the medium, and it's not just writing these big cinematic Mark Millar Ultimates, stories.
Yeah,
it's utilizing the medium effectively, and I thought that was this was a very good one and done, but not a one and done. It's part of an ongoing thing. It's not, as much as I like self-contained stories, like what Paul Jenkins, was really famous for writing. Being able to tell a serialized story and continue the plot elements is something that Spencer has been able to juggle. Now, that brings us, I think, to the next issues 38 and 39.
And 40. They're all part of the same arc.
Yeah, 38, 39, and 40. 839, 840, and 841 if you're using legacy numbering. Breaking news.
I love the Gleason covers, by the way.
Yeah, Pat Gleason comes in and does the covers. Now, for these 3 issues, we got
Ivan Coelho he's from Venom, so this was kind of a surprise when they got
Ivan
him.
Coelho is the artist for these 3 issues. This mistakenly puts Ryan Otley as the cover artist, which was not the case.
So there is a reason why. So when the issues were first solicited, it was originally Otley's cover for number 4 that's used for number 40 now. That was originally solicited for number 38, and they never bothered to replace it on the inside when they got resolicited.
Yeah. That's probably why.
Because thanks, COVID.
This is before COVID.
Yeah, we can't even. We're literally about to get to the COVID point.
It was GOG. It was actually
because it was in the middle. It was True Companions was when COVID shut down.
The day the comic industry took a bullet.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Everywhere took a
Okay,
bullet,
but it
man.
also feels like 200 years.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's not 2220?
It's been 84 years. There's a meme. There's a meme of like the one of the intern angels, he's working on 2020, and he said, and then God walks in and goes, "All right, did you finish the decade?" Wait, what? The decade? What do you mean the decade? He's like, the 2020s. The things to happen in 2020, like in the decade of 2020s. I put a whole decade's worth of stuff. And you mean you put a whole decade's worth of stuff in a year? And it's like it's the meme from The Office going.
I mean,
so.
in fairness, they're looking at not having a real preventative cure until 2022.
Right.
Yay.
Best thing we've got is like if you present mild symptoms, now we have hopefully something that will prevent you from dying.
Right.
Yeah.
At least we've learned to treat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
I maintain that this arc was supposed to be the backdoor pilot for the Silk series that never was.
Probably.
Because this issue came out just a couple months before July.
The Silk series?
Yeah, there was supposed to be a revival in July that was supposed to come alongside X of Swords.
Oh, that's right. There was supposed to be a Silk series. There was also supposed to be non-stop Spider-Man, but that got pushed till January.
Yeah, so we were missing like 5 different series still. We still
But Silk wasn't in this issue though.
No, but the place that they go to, like the website that they're working on now, she was supposed to work for the site in her new series.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying. I was like, wait, Silk? What, I mean,
yeah, like where's the connecting tissue?
Now you know.
Now I know. Okay, that makes more sense.
And knowing is half the battle.
Thank you, Neil.
All right. So anyway, we're going to breaking news part 1. This particular issue opens up with Jonah walking into a nondescript building near Hudson Yards in Manhattan. The nondescript building reveals itself to be T&M. Threats and menaces.
Oh, I make a cameo in this issue, by the way.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Yes.
Looks exactly like you.
Yeah, if you can find the page, the resemblance is uncanny.
I mean, listen.
Yeah. and
all we need is
you.
a caramel macchiato all over Neil and him in a see, this is Earth 2 Neil because he's in an orange hoodie as opposed to a green hoodie.
No. I used part of my brand used to be I used to wear an orange hoodie. So
nice.
Closer than you think.
Like that whole bit with there's some absolutely laughing out loud bits in this arc. Especially, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to point this out. So basically, Nora explains through a fake news article about Captain America what they're going to do. You won't believe that the shocking proof that Captain America is still Hydra. And I'm sorry, but this may be one of the best, most memeable panels of all time. The image of Bucky sitting at a laptop saying, "You guys are big jerks. Cap is a hero." That's
also a good way to keep track of continuity because they mentioned Krakoa in there, and this was just as Dawn of X was kicking off.
Right. So anyway, I just had to point out that panel because that panel is just glorious.
Also, that panel of Machine Smith.
Oh yeah. all good. So, anyways, Peter's robbing a bank. We don't know why. We then cut to the Foreigner and Silver Sable, and he's like trying to help her nurse her back to health. And on one hand, he's like,
"Rest easy, my love.
Rest easy, my love. This is agony to me." But then, 5 seconds. 5 seconds later, this will be a topical reference. He decides to put on his Connery impression and start being James Bond. All right, rest in peace, Connery.
F in the chat, lads.
I mean, he hit women, so I'm not really mad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just loved. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie that I loved the Alex Trebek, Sean Connery memes.
Oh yeah.
We meet again, Trebek. Damn it.
Yeah, God, is that you?
I defeated you. Even in death, you cannot run from me. So
it sounds
anyway,
you sound a little like Bane.
Well,
and now I'm kind of wondering. Yeah, now I'm kind of wondering. Did Tom Hardy just do Is that just that's how he found the voice? That's how he found the.
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
Honestly, me and Gerard used to make that joke about that he was just doing because we were talking about Venom and how Tom Hardy can never stick to an accent in that entire movie.
Oh yeah, because he switches to a Chicago one and then to a New York one in the same sentence.
Yeah, he's like.
Okay, but in fairness, that writing is just not.
Well,
it was all over the place too. So he was just following
orders.
The script. Yeah.
My podcast mate Sean from MCU Podcast, he said it best. Everyone didn't know what movie they were in except for Tom Hardy. He
Oh,
knew
yeah.
exactly what
No,
he was doing.
and when Tom Hardy, well, even then, Tom Hardy didn't know what he was doing because when he saw the lobster, he thought he was in a Jordan Peterson sketch. So
Okay, look.
Listen, really quickly, I just gotta say, I think if you guys are familiar with what a trauma movie is, and if you're familiar with what a canon film is,
I know what a canon film is. Yes.
I think I think Venom is literally both those movies like having a baby.
I remember,
and that's what Venom is.
I remember making a comment on the Crawl Space podcast that we did on that episode. It was like watching an episode of Alf.
yeah. It really was.
I guess, but yeah, I think Venom is not great, but it's fun to watch because it's so ridiculous.
Knock knock with the devil.
So anyway,
it is like the trash TV of the Marvel comic book universe. Like, I mean, I love this action figure, but that's about like the best thing that came out of it. Anyway, so
Yeah.
Was there a tie-in video game?
wait, hold on a
no,
second. Kelly,
no,
were you?
thank
God.
I didn't interrupt you.
Huh?
Were you saying something about Venom? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
Oh, I mean, I halfway did and then trailed off. But ultimately, what I was gonna say is, despite all of our lovely fun, making fun of it, no one will ever make as much fun of it as the people that were working on it. Who, it was a lot of people's like first legitimate movie roles here, which is great.
No.
However, everyone knew exactly what movie they were making. Like there is no
there's
if,
no
ands, or
doubt.
buts. No one thought that they were making the next great
This is not
superhero
Citizen Kane.
movie.
I'm totally fine with that.
This is Captain America and Winter Soldier. This is not.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So they at least had a lot of fun and enjoyed their time and
Listen,
are
Woody
they
Harrelson
are
in
proud
that
of their
wig.
work. But like y'all,
Jeez,
Okay.
don't
That
remind me.
way.
We're way off topic. All right,
yeah.
back to
Because I was about to go
Chance.
into like the stand-in, but yeah, no. All right, we're good. Go.
It's on
So-
topic.
Back,
Let's not talk
we
about
are-
the stand.
we are introduced to the supervillain casino known as the Palace. Chance, who is for some strange reason wearing his scuba helmet.
Also, I want to point this out.
suit.
This is actually from an issue of Unbelievable Gwenpool. Very good continuity note on Spencer's part.
So
It's brand recognition, the helmet. We wouldn't know who he is otherwise.
So we get
Other people
we
probably
find
wouldn't
out
either.
what Speed Demon's been doing since the Superior Foes left. He's working as a dealer at the casino.
That's actually a really good gig. Good for him. He's found his place.
Listen,
in
you can,
Good for
dude. There's
him.
people that make a lot of money
dealing cards. Yeah.
dealing cards in Vegas. So I just love this image of MODOK.
why the hell is Mr. Sinister there?
He's got to make money for Krakoa.
Hickman's X-Men. Ugh.
Shut up! I will fight you on the side of the street.
I will fight you, sir.
Okay.
Anyways,
name
so-
name
I'll
another
win.
place.
So
I will
then
beat you.
they do their best impression of MGM's sport book by basically doing the sport book of supervillainy. And they start kind of going through, and then we also get caught up with Spider-Man. And so there's drones deployed, and he's wagering on the outcome. Meanwhile, J. Jonah Jameson saves Spider-Man's life using a razor scooter.
Badass. It's Tony Hawk 4.
Yeah.
Okay, look.
2003 called. They want their scooter back.
I'm here for
Hey,
this.
now
I mean,
don't
honestly,
don't you diss Razor brand. Those things are durable as hell. I still have one 10 years later.
Listen. The things that the knockoff did to my shins, I will never forgive.
That
I
was
Knock off.
That's your problem for buying the
partially for my
knockoff.
Achilles. Listen, I didn't buy the knockoff. My parents bought the knockoff because it was my Christmas present. Because we were po. All right, we was.
Now I feel
So-
bad. Shit.
But don't feel bad. It's just reality.
okay, look. Anyway, we are here for Tony Hawk 400 with
Yeah.
J. Jonah
Listen,
Jameson mod.
We stand the Jonas skin on Tony Hawk 1 and
Yeah.
2 remake.
Exactly.
Listen,
Yeah.
Please.
One of the best mods of or cheat codes of all time was playing as Spider-Man in Tony Hawk Pro Skater on PS1 and PS2.
Spider-Man, Cosmic Spider-Man.
Yeah, you can do Cosmic Spider-Man and regular Peter Parker Spider-Man because Activision had the rights.
Or you could just create someone that looked like Peter Parker or looked like Mary Jane or looked like anybody you wanted because you had that feature, which I spent way too long on creating characters to play those games.
I love how in the span of this single issue we've gone from talking about the book to the Venom movie.
Yeah.
The Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Don't you love our asides? Anyway, so after Peter's saved by Jonah,
welcome to the Church of Gog.
Yeah.
Donate money to keep us going. I got to buy a private jet.
So basically, Peter's like, dude, I'm on a secret mission from uncharted space, and Jonah's like, thanks. So what can I do? And then
nothing.
He's like, absolutely nothing. Get out of there. But then he decides to try to help.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And he helps. All right.
Oh, he certainly does, because Jonah then writes that he just saves the day by revealing to the world that Spider-Man just saved us all from a shield cover-up.
And that last panel of him going, J. Jonah Jameson saves the day. Pure gold.
We talk about memeable panels. I do believe that this one that you just mentioned is very memeable. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. All right, so that's the end of issue.
It didn't load.
It did.
It did.
Did it? Okay, I guess it might have just been me. I'm sorry.
Lag. All right. Come on. All right, we then cut to the next issue, which is 39, My Podcast with Jonah.
This is a phenomenal comic book. I just want to add, and I'm being serious. I love this issue.
Okay, so how ironic that we're doing a podcast and we're doing a comic book podcast where we have a comic book that's talking about podcasting. It's like layers upon it is the inception right now of our podcasting history. A podcast about podcasting.
I was gonna say it was the Ogre Onion.
Yeah.
So breaking news part 2, same creative team. We open with a 9-page panel, which is very rare in the for this to be the opening page, where
9-page panel. What the?
Or
9-panel grid.
9-panel grid of a page. English is still my first language.
I'm pretty sure. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm pretty sure it's Texan and then English.
It's parcel tongue.
Listen. If the Texas accent starts coming out, several things are happening right now. Anyway. So
I sound more like Arkansas.
I know. I really don't have much of an accent, so I have to overdo it.
It's like, Zach, are you even from Texas?
I've had people ask,
Adam, don't insult the Texas pride.
Listen.
Conspiracy.
I have a flag that flew over the state capitol. It's over my shoulder.
That's
how Texan I am. Anyway,
story. All the cover up.
Yeah.
No, I know
There's a war for your mind.
Oh no.
Anyway. Okay, let's not go down this rabbit hole.
Based on Austin, Texas.
Okay, so when I'm not on here, do you guys actually stay on topic or
no?
Kinda.
More than today, but not as much.
Anyway, we have the 9-panel page of grid, whatever. So we are then introduced to the J. Jonah Jameson podcast, and the cool thing about this is that if you actually go on Marvel's website, they actually did a recording of this. You could download as a podcast.
It's so much fun. It's so good. Everyone should download it.
I wish they would do more of it.
Yeah,
I know. I need it in real life, just as a recurring series, because it's kind of better than some of Marvel's other podcasts.
Not naming names.
Not meaning to not meaning shots fired, but shots fired. Yeah.
For the first time in Neil's life, he caught a touchdown.
Good.
Sorry.
I've had it with this shit.
The thing
Well,
about
great.
about
Neil
my
like
podcasting
sports?
history, that's not the first time somebody's walked out of a recording. So, it won't be the last.
He's.
Uh,
It's fine,
pulling
Neil.
our
I'm very
leg.
sure that you're a
Oh.
very good football player. My nephew won second place at his flag football team conference thing.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
I have had drink and I have hat. Don't piss me off.
Oh no!
With your Mike's Hard lemonade.
Yeah.
By the way, mad
Sorry,
respect
it's hard
to Neil for rocking the Mike's Hard because I'm a Mike's Hard fan as well.
No, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying in general that like he looks like a bro from like a Zima commercial in 1998 right now.
Does.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
That's
But, you know,
glorious.
have you ever heard of Zima?
If you're listening to us
That's a deep
only
cut.
on audio, if you're listening to us only on audio, the visual aids that you get on the YouTube page right now are momentous.
Yeah, a unicorn just called out TJ Detweiler.
Dude bro from 1999.
Sorry,
So-
sorry,
Can
Neil.
we make the unicorn custom and the dude bro costume like the thumbnail of the episode?
Yes. Yes. We might have to I may have to kick everybody out and just have the three of you, and then put the unicorns on each side, and it's Neil.
Ooh, I like that.
The holy
I like
trinity.
it.
Yeah.
I like
So, so anyway, we cut back to Peter shows up at Threats and Menaces, and he's going, what the hell's going on? And Joe's like, there you are. It's my old pal Spider-Man. Which
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Why
So Peter's like, if you're gonna help me, stay out of my business. And so Jonah's kind of doing his puppy dog sulking off into the side. Meanwhile, Nora Winters basically says, "This is a guy that made your life a living hell, and you're going to be a jerk to him. What? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" So Peter's like, you know what? Maybe I should, do things a little differently. So the first guest of the program of J. Jonah Jameson podcast is, of course, Spider-Man. So Peter gives a brief aside about what happened in Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 6.
I think it was volume 3 or
Yeah, it's volume 3. I'm pretty sure.
volume 3.
They
number
messed
6.
up.
Yeah, they I was gonna say that they messed up the footnote.
It's there's no way that's volume. They haven't got to a volume 6 on Spec.
I think
Volume
it was
3.
it's the other way around. It's volume 3, number 6.
It's volume
Yeah.
36. Yeah.
Nick Lowe, do your job.
Yeah. So
Hey,
he got
hello.
So anyway, we get ASM Volume 5, number 13. They were talking about it. Lifetime. Go back and listen to our episode Lifetime Achievement.
Love that.
Here on the program.
They got that editor's note.
They got that editor's note right.
Yeah.
So
Because it just happened about a year ago.
they're going back and forth. They're kind of talking, and then all of a sudden, of course, there
things
starts
go
to be
wrong.
they starts to be the bickering. We cut back to the Chance's Casino airship, aka the Palace. We get a Hulk reference, which was awesome.
Very good. Again, Spencer's very good on continuity tightness, especially, and also Iron Man 2020.
Yeah. So basically, then
Episode's
Foreigner
good.
basically makes Chance bet on himself. So as Peter and Jonah are going back and forth, there's a lot of fun asides to Peter Parker's youth, and then there's this full splash page that I just feel like I need to highlight right here, which is really glorious of all the times that Peter has trolled Jonah.
Yeah.
Which that's always fun. So Chance then goes out and they're popping. I mean, literally before they even release the episode, they're popping the champagne. I don't understand.
No, because they realized they just made gold.
Yeah, make podcasting gold. So they're still continuing to go back and forth, and all of a sudden, a big giant explosion happens because there's going to actually be a fight when Chance shows up, and this really nice final splash page, really cool looking image of Chance. It actually kind of makes him look somewhat menacing here in this.
Mhm.
Even with the scuba gear, he actually looks like a threatening personality. Oh,
Yeah.
also there's a backup.
Honestly though, if you saw someone in an alleyway wearing a scuba tank
I've
and
run.
With a
and a helmet, Yeah, like you'd run. That's menacing.
Yeah.
Like that's hardcore.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's not
Even
it's
though
not
he's in a green and yellow jumpsuit,
Doesn't
scuba
matter.
suit.
Yeah, it
that's
doesn't
still
matter.
that's still
It's
some
just-
spooky stuff right there. You
Because
don't
Yeah,
I mean, you don't. It's not like you
Look,
see
it-
this
it
guy every
shows-
day.
it-
Like,
Yeah, no, and the green and yellow shows you that he's not afraid. Like he's not afraid to kill you.
He's out
Exactly.
In broad,
I mean,
he's out in broad
he's
daylight.
he's in
yellow-
non-primary colors, so therefore, via comic logic, he is the villain. So
well, yellow is a.
I mean,
That's
but
like
also
your- that's
just
your
in
clear
real life,
run.
like I don't really know of anybody like wearing green and yellow and wielding a flamethrower that wouldn't kill you. So
I think it's like a
Jetpack
gun. I think it's
flamethrower.
because Scorcher's the one with the flamethrower. I think
Yeah,
Champ's
that
the one
is-
with the,
well,
with the
that-
I
gun.
made my point, okay?
yeah.
Yes, your point is valid. I'm sorry, Kelly.
Scorcher, there's a deep cut right there. All right, so
right.
Would you rather use the melter?
no, it's fine. All right, the sins of Overdrive. We're going to talk about Overdrive sins. Basically, Overdrive was part of the not Sinister
Foes.
Six. He was then the getaway driver for the Mr. Negative's gang. I can't remember
Inner
the name.
Yeah.
The Inner Demons. That's right. This is very much shades of PS4 Spidey right here. Over
The Inner
Or,
Demons is such a soft name.
Inner Demons?
Yeah.
That's like the
It's
one
a
good
soft-
thing about
It's
Mr.
a
Negative's
soft
gang.
name,
Well,
but
So-
it's very
It makes-
soft.
well,
very soft.
I mean, I guess, but it's kind of a trope off of Mr. Negative, right? Of his powers, because they're all from the inside. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but
No. Like it. To me, I don't know. It's just whenever I hear it, I just am constantly like my brain flashes back to like trying to read 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh God.
And
what a
What-
friend we have in
Oh,
Jesus.
I have no idea what this is about, but all right,
All right.
It's another non sequitur.
Right.
that's fair.
we're
That's fair.
we'll let that
Basically-
hang and we'll just keep
Basically,
going.
Overdrive drives the Inner Demons around, and the Sin Eaters, boots show up at the very
Okay,
end.
for the record, is this the first time it's revealed that Mr. Negative gave Overdrive his powers? Because I didn't know that.
No, that was a thing like back in Superior Foes at least. I know that
Yeah.
they
It's
mentioned
been a while.
it was a
Okay.
flat.
Yeah.
It was
we talk
it was,
about this in the chat, like when we right
Oh.
before we started the show, we were talking about this. Like, where did Overdrive come from?
Well,
I
he
remember.
He
I remember
came from his
Listen, he's the-
parents.
Yeah.
He's the only one. Excuse me. He's the only one that does not of the Superior Foes that does not have a Marvel Legend, and I am sad because we got Silvermane on a toy car,
but not
Marvel Legend,
Overdrive.
but not Overdrive, and like I'm missing
Overdrive's
the step.
kind of a
I got
crappy
a
villain.
Tombstone before I got Overdrive.
and his
Anyhow,
powers are
You
weird
get
too.
Tombstone before Overdrive. What the hell are you? What are you trying to say?
Superior Foes was great.
I just
love
want, I just
Superior
want
Foes.
I know, but
I
like I'm
just
saying,
want the
if we're
full set.
if we're getting the miserable six, then we should be getting Overdrive within the miserable six.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Is that we've gotten 5 of the 6. I need to complete the team.
That's
Oh, yeah,
all I'm
fair.
saying.
I keep forgetting there's Living Brain, but he's.
Dude, I will
Yeah,
take Living Brain as a build-a-figure. I don't care at this point.
There you
All
go.
right. All right, let's get to the next issue so we can get talking about this arc. I gotta talk about
Yeah.
lots of stuff.
All
Come on.
right, so then we get a very good homage to Chance's first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man number 298, which was also the first issue that featured Todd McFarlane as the artist.
Deep
Mhm.
cut. Not really
cut,
a deep
deep.
cut, but
That's not really a deep cut. It's just kind of a
Yeah.
weird-
It's full
happenstance.
circle because I think
Nice,
Otley talked about how he copied a lot of McFarlane art.
Well, he's in
Yeah.
the Larson
Recently.
and
Yeah.
McFarlane art, isn't he? Didn't he make
Yeah.
a about both?
Well, like
of them?
Like,
he made a post where he pulled out he copied a bunch of McFarlane art from the Spidey era, and he's like, oh yeah, this is some of the first stuff I did or something. So it's full circle in that respect, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
A lot of relevant, or what's the word I'm looking for? Swiping of goodness, you could say. Reverent,
Yeah.
reverent swiping. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah. I do love the word balloon on the front of there, which you just don't see anymore until
I love word balloons on covers. Oh, thank you.
they did it
Yes.
for a couple. They did it for a couple of issues, and then they just stopped again, which was really weird.
The boomer.
Where does Chance rate say against Doc Ock? Shut up, Jonah.
The next issue we're balloon is cover is phenomenal.
We'll get to that. All right,
we'll get to that.
Also, real quick, between arcs, I want you to check in in our private Discord chat because I found some weird shit.
Wait, what? Are you like just posting in the Discord while we're chatting?
Yes.
Are we coming back to like 100 horrific images?
No, it's just the one. It's just the one.
We're not gonna be. See, here's the thing: those that are listening and or watching, they don't know, but you should join our Discord. The Discord link is up on Spideydude.com.
I gotta get on there. I keep forgetting about it.
Yeah, you need to join us.
I'm just busy. I'm busy.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So we are at breaking news part 3. The exact same creative team as last time. We open with a most of a splash page.
Oh, also Zay Carlos.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, Zay Carlos does the interiors for like the final
that's right.
pages.
Yeah, Zay Carlos also helps with this issue. My bad. So we open back up where we left off from last issue, where the sound guy, where Jonah's like, we're in the middle of recording a podcast, and like the sound guy's like, there's a lot of background noise, until Chance like sits there and pulls out his wrist gun and points it right at him. He's like, I can edit it out. So after he shoots at Jonah, Spider-Man starts fighting. The foreigner is looking on going, yes, this is good. This is very good. Meanwhile, the Chance and Peter keep fighting. Jonah tries to interview him during the middle of the fight, which is something that only Jonah could do. At one point, Chance is like, all right, punch me.
Please.
We got 2 minutes left. Punch me.
Yeah.
He's trying to throw this fight so that way he can win. Meanwhile, then the jack-o'-lanterns showed up.
Jack-o'-lanterns! Woo!
Even and everybody else's reaction was, oh, you've got to be kidding me.
No, so good.
So needless to say, there's some bits. Foreigner is like really excited because he actually managed to get the web shooter, because that was the whole point, was that Chance was supposed to get the web shooter. Needless to say, Jonah has brought up a lot of points to Peter and kind of made him do some self-analysis, and so they sit down and they talk.
This is one of my favorite pages, the 5-panel one coming up.
Yes, this is, and if you're reading, this is where, going back to Make by Mayday the other day, I've said that, nowadays it seems like that comics are being more and more written for a tablet or a screen. And so when you look at it in the guided view like this, very much has that feel of these type of transitions. We laugh, we cry, we see each other in a whole new light, and then we see each other in the old light again. So this is where we then cut to a different artist.
There we go. I like that.
It's not bad, but it's not the same as Ivan Coelho.
So people actually start listening. I want to say, is this the guy that does Word Balloon?
Let me look.
Oh yeah, it looks like Mac Maron. It's Mac Maron.
Oh, Mark Maron. Yeah, that looks like Mark Maron.
Mark Maron. Okay, I thought that was like a reference to a podcaster of some sort.
Yeah.
There's this one.
No, he's a podcaster. Like, he's got a very famous. Very.
Okay.
It's a WTF pod, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I suspected. I just didn't. I knew it was that was a podcast, a real life podcaster, but I didn't know who.
Yeah.
So I got a kick out of this one line where Peter goes, I mean, in terms of public popularity, I usually rank somewhere between software updates and pharmaceutical commercials.
Yeah. So, I mean, we then cut to Chance shows back up at the palace, and he's like, "Oh, F off, all of you." Basically, then the foreigner's like, "Well, guess we're going into business together as partners. Put it there, partner." And he does his best Ric Flair, Vince McMahon moment. Meanwhile, we then cut to to Randy Robinson, who is utterly terrified.
She's here.
She's here.
The calls.
I could make an
inside the
ex-wife
house,
joke,
man.
but if I did, my current girlfriend would slap me from across the room, so I'm not going to. But this is what most men look like whenever their ex-wives show up unexpectedly. Anyway.
I come for the kids.
Also, this bit where she's just nonchalantly throwing the mask around.
Face a tiger moment right there.
And she thinks they're into role play.
I actually like that. I thought that was refreshing. Like, cause it's like, oh, you're Spider-Man. I figured it out. But no, it's just like, oh, you're just into some weird stuff. It's fine.
That's fine.
Out of everybody in the world, though, the one person that would go straight to role play is Nora because she's just that kinky.
She's into some weird stuff too. So
exactly.
Okay, I don't feel like role play is that kinky, guys.
Well, okay.
She's into some hardcore stuff, so she probably just was like, "This is cute," and then
she's into she's into gobos.
Sure, I don't know what that is.
Goblins.
Goblins, yeah.
Goblins.
Yes, she is.
Phil Goblins.
Yep.
Not the good one either.
Oh God, I don't want to know what Phil does.
I thought you were saying Phil Collins.
Oh God,
I thought you were saying Phil Collins, and I was like, oh boy, we're going back to the drums.
You know he can't play drums anymore.
I love Phil.
Do you know he can't play drums anymore?
What? No.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry. I'm having a very
his
horrific
shoulders
moment in my brain.
I'm broken.
Meanwhile, Kelly's is sinking into her robe of Gog
Phil Collins
because she doesn't want to think about Uncle Phil.
I don't.
Shenanigans.
I love Phil
Why
Collins.
did I do this to myself? Okay, yeah, well, I also don't want to think about Phil Collins.
So we have Kelly freaking
Who do
out
I
about
blame?
Uncle
Who do
Phil.
I blame? Get back in the hood.
We have
I blame
Kelly.
myself. I blame myself. I know who started it.
Kelly's freaking out about Uncle Phil. Paul was like, I just broke Neil, Paul, and Adam by telling them that Phil Collins can't play drums anymore.
Dude, he's amazing in Genesis.
He's an
amazing drummer.
I know.
Dude, early Genesis records are so good.
We want to get back on topic.
Yeah. It's just right now we are just a land of confusion.
Wow.
Right now, let's just skip over anything with Nora forever and ever.
All right.
And ever,
anyway,
now I'm never gonna be able to forget it because, for a moment, I did.
Yeah.
You're lost.
Nora offers Peter a job.
Wait, hang on.
Peter Parker has a shocked face.
A shocked face.
It's horrified because he's thinking things too.
Oh no, that's just Kelly right there. That's Kelly's head right now. So, needless to say, there's somebody that gets 8, huge wins in a row, and we then get Peter Parker's classmate using the clairvoyant to make money on bets. Oh, guess what's gonna happen?
As one would.
In this economy, you got to take what you can get. I gotta give them credit.
Meanwhile, Nora's using her iPhone 11 to sit there and call a mysterious benefactor. That mysterious benefactor is the Chameleon,
who somehow got his cell phone in a jail cell.
He's connected.
Listen. As someone that once worked in prison and found multiple cell phones and wondered how they came in.
Nice self-censoring, by the way. That was good.
I've developed that over the years. Trust me when I say this. If you want something in prison, you can get it.
Sure.
That is fair.
To speak to you, what if Gog was one of us?
Yes. What if Gog was one of us? Because Gog, damn it, here we are.
Also, we need to do grades and then just move on because we've spent too much time talking about this.
We're so lost.
Real quick, grades and brief any type of thoughts. I thought the artwork was really great across these 3 issues.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
I would say this particular issue is probably B+.
Yeah. I'd give this arc a B+.
B+. Paul?
I'm going to go probably B+ as well. Really quickly, I think the Jonah issues, I thought Nick did a phenomenal job going in and giving J. Jonah Jameson and Peter to have, or in Spider-Man, obviously, to keep having conflict together still, that it's still fresh there because they don't see eye to eye, the interpretations and everything. I thought that was really well written.
And it's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes, because before it's not like they can just all of a sudden be different people. There's still the same people that have that history and they don't see eye to eye. It was really well done. I gotta say, because everyone would say you're ruining Peter and Spider-Man's relationship with Jonah because he doesn't hate him anymore. When actually this whole arc, but that issue in particular where they're face to face, it shows you that you can have that forever because if you the way the Nick and interprets it, it's beautiful. Honestly, I think it was really well played.
This is where one of the big debates that I've had about the marriage, and writers complaining that it's this progression's too much.
Hard.
We can't write it. Blah blah blah.
Well, the whole thing, the progression. Sorry. Go.
Sorry, and I'll let you hear just a second. The point is that progression is not a bad thing. If the characters are driving the plot, not the plot driving the characters, then this is something that's very organic and natural. And that's what I really appreciated. I echo that, Paul, in how Jonah he respects Peter, but he also is not afraid as a friend to Peter, as somebody that was essentially his stepbrother. Sometimes you need that friend that can tell you, dude, you're screwing up. Here's what you're doing wrong. You're too blind. You're not seeing it. This is what I'm seeing. And sometimes you need those friends to hold you accountable. If you're going to make Jonah an ally of Spider-Man, not an enemy, that's the only way it works. And you can still write conflict within that. The conflict doesn't end. There's always been this just give him a elastic. There's always been this elastic nature with Jonah and Peter. In the 90s, Jonah saw him more as a son, right? This is the guy that spent top dollar to pay for Peter's legal defense, to the point where shortly before the Bugle downsizes. I mean, this is a guy that literally would do anything to help the people he cares about, and sometimes that gets him in trouble. That's why people are like, "Oh, this is not Jonah." This is Jonah. Jonah has the biggest heart of gold, but doesn't always use his brain. Kelly, I let you have the floor.
I mean, that's mostly what I was going to say, but I was just going to say too, though, it's like Nick was kind of written into a hole with that, like, because he started off with Jonah knowing Peter's secret. So what are you supposed to do with it? Yeah.
He was handed Zdarsky's status quo when he was expected to work off of it.
Exactly. So the thing is I think what he's done is beautiful because it works really, really well because of the fact that it is so in character for Jonah to just be like, I can't look at my own self. Like the ego is too high. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to always pretend that I was always supportive and I was always this, because now he associates Spider-Man with Peter and he realizes everything he's been doing to Peter is wrong. And so this is his way of making it up without actually being direct about it. And it's really funny because, of course, Peter doesn't see it that way. That's not how Peter understands things. And there will be conflict because that's human nature and that's normal. And so like this looks like, like an uncle, like a father figure that doesn't quite understand how to express their emotions. This generally is how that works with that kind of figure. And so that's how this is playing out, which I always enjoyed. But of course, my thing is like there's a lot of nuance with Spencer's writing that people sometimes don't get. And it's just like you have to understand he's literally doing. He's having the characters drive the story, which sometimes can be a detriment to a little bit of the lag that we get because he gets so invested in that character. But as we will see with Gog. But it's ultimately because he world builds, he builds the story, and I really enjoy it. I had something else to say, but then got lost on that.
I think, and I think with the Jonah situation, again, it shows you that how you have progression, and that because again, it's not like it's a mild character. This is J. Jonah Jameson, the guy who wanted pictures of Spider-Man. He tried to kill Spider-Man. And he brings that up, and I also love the fact that this is where I think Nick really gets the characters, because not only does he show that Spider-Man can, because I think a lazier writer would point out what Spider-Man did and just emphasize, well, you try to kill me, you try to do this. But Spencer, knowing the characters and knowing how each one of them works, and how, not just works, but what they're thinking, and knows like, oh, like there's two sides to every story. What does he bring up? He brings up about Spider-Man's problems. Well, what did you do for me? What did you ever talk to me about this stuff? Yep. No. And then he had that beautiful page of Spider-Man like sweating, and he's like, yeah, and it's always like bad things that Spider-Man did to J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
That's a big highlight. Yeah. That's a big highlight.
No.
That was honestly, when I read that again, I remember that reading the first time and loving it, but this second time I'm like, damn, like Nick Spencer brought it right here. And that again, I think people who are just the average Spider-Man fans, and this is not to be a gatekeeper by any means, are just going to look over that and go, haha, like, no, I read that and went, dude, this guy knows his shit, because to bring that aspect of the characters together and acknowledge the fact that Peter is not perfect and that he has a part to play in it, even though, let's be real, Jonah is he's the 75 of the 25 or 70 of the 30% of the relationship problems.
Yeah.
Right. But that 30% still belongs to Peter, and here's what he did. And Jonah and he's not dumb. Just because Jonah's a blowhard and he wears his heart on his sleeve and he yells a lot doesn't mean he's not a smart guy. He brings it to Peter and Peter realizes, oh yeah, And again, I love that aspect.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Look, one of my favorite issues of all time, and yes, I am very biased, is one that I talked about in this particular episode of Clone Saga Chronicles, episode 64. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 23. Now, obviously, I have a very big attachment to that issue because I helped inspire it with the confrontation between Jonah and Peter during Back in Black. This arc is, and I loved Zdarsky's single issue.
I love that issue.
But I'm a Jonah fan, so I love Jonah. So that for me, I haven't given my grade about this arc yet. It's an A+. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Chance. I enjoyed the Foreigner. These are just D-list villains that
I actually enjoyed Chance, which is saying a lot because Chance is a terrible character.
I love those. Yeah. I love those C and D list characters. They always entertain me.
Well, Nick Spencer knows how to make an omelet that just is so delicious with that, and so
it's just he thinks of every character as a full fleshed out character. He doesn't see them as bit pieces, which is what I enjoy about his writing.
Yeah, they're not pieces in a chessboard to try to make fit. They're not. Yeah, they're not random pieces that you're trying to create a puzzle with. It's okay. What makes sense? What makes sense to the characters? So there was no backup on this issue. So we're then going to.
There is a negative I have on this issue.
Okay.
It introduces another ongoing plot point that won't get resolved for another 20 issues. One of the few big complaints I have with Spencer's run is that he introduces way too many plot elements, and then we're still kind of waiting on.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten any follow up. We haven't gotten any follow up on the Beetle storyline. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting. I mean, we did get some follow up with the Boomerang stuff, but it took us a while to get to it.
Yeah.
What do you expect? What do you expect the guy to do? You can't write like 100 issues.
No, I know.
Okay, but also
there's too many together.
At least we know that they probably will be addressed before he leaves. Yeah. Unlike what the heck is going on with Emily Osborn?
Isn't it Emma?
We don't talk about that.
No, it's Emily.
It's Emily.
It's Emily.
It's Emily.
Oh yeah, they call. Am I brain dead today? Yes.
No, but I think they did call her Emma in the issue, but Emma is a nickname for Emily. So anyway,
Yeah.
cutting to, speaking of word balloons and greatness, we have this Ryan Otley cover of
Phenomenal cover.
842, Amazing Spider-Man number 842. For those that are listening to us in the audio version, it says, I'm going to call this adventure Best Friends. Peter. Nope. Boomerang. The Vermin Saga? That's not the plural. Boomerman. Stop talking and start punching. You're not helping. That's
This
great.
is
All right,
I love that
this was the
cover.
issue. This is the issue I let my nephew read before I did the first review on it, and he loves Boomerang.
There you go.
I feel like
I love
he's
Boomerang.
And
I feel like he's
God.
taking the wrong lesson. I feel like he's taking the wrong lessons away from this book.
I'm pretty sure, but in fairness, this is also the kid that watched a Stan Lee thing, turned to his father, and went, "When I grow up, I want to draw Deadpool, but as a Jedi."
Okay.
And
That's
Yeah.
There
amazing.
you go.
And that was the end of it.
that was the end
So,
of it.
so Ryan Otley returns. Nick
Yay.
Spencer is the writer.
Yay!
True Companions Part 1. Is this the
Yeah.
final arc?
No,
This is- yeah,
he-
this is his
it's,
last-
it's his final arc, but he did art for 850, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this
This
is,
is-
for all intents and purposes, this is his final,
storyline.
yeah.
So we open with the clones of Vermin, the 87 clones of Vermin from the
Oh my
Hunted
God.
storyline, where Peter is fighting amongst them, and then all of a sudden, Fred shows up. Oh, because that's what you want. We then get a brief overview of what's happened with Fred, and we finally, after months and months, like 6 months, we finally get the backstory of what Kingpin is after. Now, of course, this is done in very much the Fred style that's
Right.
I love this
Unreliable.
flashback, by the way.
the unreliable narrator, where we then get what is Wilson Fisk after? The Tablet of Time.
Mhm.
I do like that he calls his fans
Boomers.
Boomers, yeah, because that's something that Boomerang would do. So
Okay, Boomer.
yeah. So the Tablet of Time, we get that where we had a wormhole that was created. Fisk is pissed off. It's unacceptable. He's basically Peter's like tasking himself to protect it, and apparently, was it a Yankee Stadium? Is it
I
the
think
Yankee Stadium or
Maybe.
Citibank
I think it was.
Field?
I think it was Citibank Field.
Okay, it was either the home of the Mets or home of the the Mets, because nobody ever
Probably the
goes
Mets.
to a Mets game.
I mean, Peter does.
Wow.
Peter does, but
You
sorry.
alienated. I bet you alienated like so many fans.
Yeah,
So
two-
sorry.
two of them.
Listen, of the two, which one's more popular, the Yankees or the Mets? Sorry, Mets fans. Anyway,
I consider them
So-
equal.
so they get all the pieces together except for one, and that one is being protected by a
By-
man
Ya
called
boy, God.
Whoa! Show the splash page.
Everybody-
Yeah.
Yay! All hail the mighty Gog.
all.
All hail our God, Gog.
Yeah.
Well, your God, because it's not my God. But anyway,
Our
God.
God
That sounds
damn
like
it.
that sounds like a you problem.
that is a me problem. That is a me problem.
You need to go back to the Savage Land, bitch.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa!
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 I could make a joke about the Crusades, but I'm not gonna.
Oh, jeez.
What a friend we have in Jesus.
What a friend we have in Gog.
Oh.
That's what God
What
wanted me
if
to
God
say.
was
Was
one
one
of
of
us?
All right. We then cut to the very next issue, the last issue that came out before the pandemic shutdown.
Oh, there's a backup in number 41, by the way.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was the one with Count. It was the one with Count Nefari and Lethal Legion.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Gargoyle.
Yeah. Greg
Yeah, but I'm-
Gargoyle.
Yeah.
Living,
All right.
living laser and whirlwind.
Also,
Living
now my
Razor
memory is
Whirlwind.
coming back to me. Like, I'm sorry, guys. The quarantine, like,
It did a number.
Aged 10 years.
Listen, I talked about this on Spider-Man Crawl Space from El Paso, Texas, and I remember this like distinctly because we had so much Gog jokes. All right, so we get the origin of Gog.
Gog Jog. Ooh, we could raise charity with a virtual Gog Jog.
There you go.
Fortnite Gog Jug.
So Ryan Otley's the penciler. Cliff Rathburn did the inks, and I'm going to go back for a second because I want to make sure that I get this right because this is the first time he's done the inks, I think, on him.
No, he's been Rathburn's been, or it's Cliff Rathburn. Yeah, he's been doing the inks since issue 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the next issue, in the last issue of this arc,
Otley does like half the pages by himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to say I thought because you could definitely tell which ones that Otley inked himself and which
because they're way rougher.
Yep.
Yeah. So we get the origin story of Gog, where at one point he was brought as as a pet to the people
family member.
A family member, excuse me.
Thank
a
you.
family member of the Blue Man Group's homeworld.
Wow.
And
wow.
Jeez.
Shots fired.
It looked like broke ass Cree. I'm just being real. That's what they look like.
Keeping it real there, Pete.
They're gonna do a purge of themselves.
Well, you know, needless to
me,
say,
that's actually is kind of what happens.
He kind of looks like not our Paul, but the Paul from that movie.
Oh, the
Paul Blart Mall Cop? What?
No.
Yeah,
Paul
sure.
Yeah, the alien.
Yeah, the alien.
So from
You know,
I
was trying to say, where was the planet that Avatar takes place? Pandora. Yeah.
No, he's from Orlando. He's from Animal Kingdom and Kissimmee.
There you go. So
Gog is the original Florida man. Pass it on.
Gog is the original Florida man. Oh my God! All right,
I'd read that book. Gog,
listen.
Peter and Gog moved down to Florida after a nasty divorce.
No.
It'd be Peter with Gog.
Peter, Fred,
with
Gog in a Trans Am.
Oh my God!
Taking some Coors across state lines.
Why is it Coors? Why can't it be White Claw or like?
Why can't it be Mike's?
Yeah. Why can't it be Mike's?
Because we got a long way to go and a short time to get there, and the only way we're going to do it is with Gog's helping us.
Well, I mean, Zach,
yeah.
it's going to be a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but their time is finally near.
Except,
Is that 8th grade poetry?
Star Trek Enterprise.
That's Star Trek Enterprise, yeah.
Oh my bad.
Also from Patch.
Also, if that doesn't make tears run down your cheek,
God,
boy,
goodbye, little boy.
Oh my God, goodbye.
It's Homeward Bound. It's
yeah.
It really is.
We then get
on Space Mountain.
We then get Craven the Hunter discovering him in the Savage Land, and a brief recap.
This is ASM 104, correct?
Yes,
103 and 4-ish.
So then we cut to they found a Marvel Legend of Gog.
Yeah.
I want that right now.
So
why hasn't Gog been a Build-A-Figure?
Can you zoom in on that picture of Gog of the Gog Marvel Legend?
Why hasn't Gog been a Build-A-Figure?
Real quick, Zach. Can you zoom in?
Maybe.
Can you zoom in? Can you zoom in? Can you go back and zoom in on that panel of the Marvel Legend Gog?
What are we? No. Why?
Look at that Chad energy, just arms crossed with a smug grin. What a Chad! And his stepmom is like, "This is what you need to grow up to be." I don't know.
His mother, man.
That's his mom, dude.
Oh wait,
and the queen of whatever alien
like
world
two family members who just died. Like the dad died and someone else.
She's queen of Pandora of Animal Kingdom.
She's queen of the Na'vi.
Yeah.
So then we get a brief Reed Richards reference. There we go.
Brief.
Where he sends them back to his home planet where they are. Like he's so excited until he arrives and just in time for war.
They're fighting for the unobtainium.
Or they're fighting Universal Studios, since this is.
They're fighting for the rights to Avatar 2.
Since this is Orlando, battle lines are drawn. It's like West Side Story, but with the Disney characters and Universal monsters.
Yes,
the Marvel characters has taken shelter.
They're gonna sit there and start breaking out into song and snapping in unison with each other
and like doing sick ass dance moves.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'd be great. I'd pay for it.
And if we cross the streams, we'll have them start breaking out into grease lightning.
It's electrifying.
They got chills. They're multiplying. And then we have boy soldiers involved in this particular issue. Oh yes,
he's a prince. He's a prince and a boy soldier, and it's horrific. It's very horrible, and you should feel for him.
But
you honestly should. But like it's
listen. I just have to say, these next panels though should bring you great joy.
Yeah,
bring you such great joy.
Until
boom,
Dad.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. This face right here is the face that Waylon makes every time I leave for 15 minutes. It's like, Dad,
and then real quick, Zach, you mind if I take this one? And then as Gog is heading to his boy. Boom!
No!
Boom! Hand grenado.
Jesus. Jeez.
That thing's got the explosive force of a Halo grenade.
I mean, well, it probably was. I mean, it was probably a nuclear weapon. Like, it would have blown like half.
Tactical nuke incoming! 25 kill streak. Boy dead.
Boy, wake up. Wake up, boy. No, please, God.
This is horrific. This is so sad. I don't have like.
It's weird because it's like it's cute, like Gog is cute, but like it kind of underplays how horrific that it is that a little boy just got blown up by a hand grenade.
Well, he's a man at this point, but he's a young man.
No, he's a boy. He was a boy.
Man.
He's like half
He's a young man. He's a young man. God damn it.
God damn it! Stop sacrilege.
Masculinity. It's okay. Oh, no. He's a boy. Okay, he was a boy.
In all seriousness, I thought he was a teenager, but that's his.
Well,
he's probably like 14.
Or have you come from the heavens to take him to a better life?
Oh, that's.
Well, they did think he was dead. So.
Yeah.
There was that missing poster. They had a missing poster for him.
They did.
Yeah. Listen to me. Listen. Cylin.
So Gog's name is Tacillin, or.
No, that's his species.
That's the species of
Oh, okay.
Take the fragments far from here, back to the hell from which they came from.
To be fair, Earth is kind of a hell. I mean,
I just gotta say right now too, the fact that Nick Spencer took the tablets, put them in outer space with Gog, and made a compelling story out of all that.
Yeah,
that is.
Insanely impressive.
If Gog is not my dog Waylon, because this dude in the mornings after Sarah leaves, if I'm not awake, he will like crawl up and like because he thinks he's like Benji size, but he's not, and then he'll put his head on my head, like on my forehead, and be like, protect. That's what's happening right now.
Keep
Gog is protecting.
Yeah.
And to be continued. So
Gog. Poor Gog.
Anyways, next issue.
Yeah,
I have no heart.
All right. So we then get to the final until 850 issue.
I love this goddamn comic.
This cover is. I love
goddamn. God damn it to hell.
Damn comic.
This goddamn.
It is blessed by Gog. It is about the greed of Gog.
Real briefly, because I feel like it needs to be mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 42 was the last issue that was printed before the entire world shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel, I guess, was in the process of developing this one, and so it was a massive delay between the two.
Well,
And
so this was ready to go. It just didn't get printed until
like everything shut down.
Like, got back up. Yeah.
Everything shut down literally the week before things were supposed to go out.
Yeah. So as a result, 42 there was a massive break between. There was no new comics.
In a weird way, I think that kind of helped this issue. Not because this issue wasn't good, because I think it was great, but like that cliffhanger of like Gog protecting the tablet.
And we're gonna get into the debate, because there was a big debate about that issue, and we'll talk about that, and I'm sure we'll spend probably 45 minutes on it. But
one more day, more like 1 more hour.
So issue 4, our final issue
Brand
of the night,
new
issue
hour.
43, aka Legacy 844. Ryan Otley, Nick Spencer, Rathburn, and Fairburn helped out with this one. True Companions Part 3, the final part of Volume 8, if you're reading along in the trade paperbacks. We then have a brief then and now situation. Gog is protecting the last fragment from being collected. Needless to say, Fred then decides that Peter's just trying to figure out what's going on, and he's trying to use his brain. And
Fred's like, goodbye.
Boomerang's like, I got the tablet of time. I'm out. See ya. The last time that somebody tried to gather a bunch of pieces of a tablet together, it was Norman Osborn in the Gathering of the Five, and it really didn't end that well. So
I was thinking of the Ninja Turtles movie.
No,
fair.
The 2007 one.
Oh, okay. I never
the
saw
one where Patrick Stewart. Oh, it's the Statue of the Knights, I think, or it's the tablet. I think there was both. I don't know.
So anyway, Gog starts creating chaos in the street. Peter's trying to save everything. Fisk shows up and is like, "It's my job to protect the city." All of a sudden, Animal Control starts firing
anti-tank rounds into Gog.
At Gog, and so. Peter then thwips Fisk's mouth shut.
That was awesome.
Grabs the two Apache helicopters and the tanks and knocks them out.
Notice that people are flying or jump out of the helicopter too.
Yeah. At least Peter, was responsible enough to let them, jump out so they didn't die.
I don't think he let the people in the tank jump out.
Listen, it's a tank; it can handle it.
Okay.
So anyway, Boomerang then's like throws a boomerang, and Gog starts getting flashbacks. He's like,
"God damn!" I lost it on that.
Yeah,
I was like,
awesome.
Play!
No,
boy,
the sheer joy, and this is what I love about Otley drawing this. The sheer joy of Gog.
So wholesome.
And if you're listening to this on audio form, you're really missing out, because I'm showing like individual panels of like just awesomeness. And so be sure to go to our YouTube page and hit the like button, subscribe button.
Hit the bell, click all notifications, because YouTube algorithms are weird and it won't tell you things. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, we have Gog, where he like. They throw the boomerang towards this like box truck, and so Gog then shrinks down to normal size. But once he catches the thing, he literally gets gassed, and so
wow.
that is an allocation.
That was horrible. That's not what we meant. That's not what we meant.
That's not what we meant.
It's like, Neil, you're the one who took it there.
He's alive. We didn't go that dark, I swear.
So we're good. He's like, we just can't leave him here. And so then eventually it's revealed that Peter Parker got a house pet.
Hey.
And I love how on the same page it's like he thirsts for blood.
Yeah.
Because he bites Randy's finger. It's like
and Randy gets all like ominously pissed, and there were so many so many theories as to
Well, I
like
think
God.
he's cute.
God
Ain't
can
you?
sense evil, and therefore Randy is evil.
Randy is kindred, guys.
I also
Randy is kindred.
love the fact that they're watching The Walking Dead right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess
during the middle of a pandemic. Oh,
I mean,
If
look.
That was I don't want to say ahead of its time
yeah.
because it was behind its time.
It was.
happened.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So, needless to say, GOG will protect
GOG will attack.
you. GOG will never leave you nor forsake you.
Nope.
GOG is always there, and so that is how the issue ends.
Oh my God!
I
It's
love
I
it.
love it.
good.
You're a good boy.
I don't like
okay,
it.
and here's the
I
thing:
love it.
we go from this to super dark,
Oh yeah.
in the space of a month, and
Well,
so
This
like
is what we
it
needed
was
before the coming
needed.
darkness.
Yeah, like it was needed.
Yeah.
It's I think the issue on why people dislike this so much is because of
Wait,
that
people dislike
huge
this?
gap.
So they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't think
All
they
right,
just
so
liked
let's-
it. But we'll
let's
talk
address. Yeah, let's address the elephant in the room.
The GOG. In the
When
room.
Kelly and myself were on Crawl Space,
I was there.
there was this.
Neil was there.
and Neil was there. I can't remember.
Adam wasn't. I don't think.
No.
Adam and Paul weren't there, but they made.
I definitely wasn't there.
There were certain people that were like, "This is not. I did not buy the Amazing GOG. I bought the Amazing Spider-Man."
Let me guess. His name starts with a G.
No,
he
actually, it starts
wasn't
with a
there.
B.
Wait, no, it wasn't but the thing is, okay, so ultimately they had very valid points. And I think a large part that exasperated those points, though, was the fact that there was such a long wait. Obviously, that wasn't
Exactly.
Marvel's intentions. That wasn't anybody's
There were-
intentions.
Right.
It's just how it played out. But now, like now that we're neat about waist deep in Kindred, because I don't think we're
Right.
drowning in it yet, which is scary. But like the fact that we're like waist deep in Kindred. This goes to show like this was the kind of like buffer,
Yeah.
but
a good
also
breather.
still playing
Yeah, the
into the
breather.
story, because at no point in time has Spencer really stopped in playing into this main story. It's just the fact that like here's a lighthearted story to go to into this. Now, of course, yes, I do understand the mindset of this is Amazing Spider-Man. It shouldn't be about GOG or about a side character, but of course there's also the whole situation of what is Spider-Man without his side characters,
Oh yeah.
because
This
that's
is-
what makes him so different.
Well,
Mhm.
and the other thing that we talked about it, especially last episode, when you don't have a satellite title,
Yeah.
character spot, and you're getting Amazing Spider-Man twice a month.
Yep.
There's times where that character spotlight that would be in a satellite title, you're getting an Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep.
I remember when they went to the 3 times a month, it was like, okay, we're just going to get more Amazing Spider-Man. And it makes you buy Amazing Spider-Man because for the longest time you were missing. To me, I felt like you would miss out if you didn't buy, Friendly Neighborhood or Sensational whenever Roberto Aguirre Sacasa was writing it, and Friendly Neighborhood when Peter David was writing it. You were missing out. And over the last decade, the satellite titles are character focused, like Silk or Spider-Gwen or Miles,
Or
there's-
Spider-Woman, yeah.
or Spider-Woman or
Venom.
Ben Reilly the Scarlet Spider. Not having that ability to do these character spotlight issues, and you're right. And I said this, and if you guys recall, I said this at the time, that I think that criticism wouldn't be as valid if this issue had came out the week after, like it was, or 2 weeks after, like it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Had True Companions, had this last bit been the last issue of before the shutdown, I don't think anybody would have complained nearly as much about the Amazing God.
like with Immortal Hulk. Yeah, this is relevant, I promise. But
Sure.
with Immortal Hulk, they managed to get out their milestone like number 600, and it ended the Zemnu story arc just heading in the big cliffhanger was that the leader was the one who'd been pulling the strings in hell all along. That was a big twist, but they managed to finish their big Zem news story that had been the whole rage before the pandemic shut them down. So with Immortal Hulk, they managed to wrap up their big storyline before moving on to the next one, but leaving enough cliffhanger that once they got back on track, you would still be reading.
Yeah, because like literally, we talked about, and we didn't even talk about the backup. The backup is literally looks like a cell, and then it looks like that cell is being broken into, and it says just the sins of.
Oh yeah,
and that's it.
With hindsight, we know who
it is.
Right.
Well, not yet, because we'll get to it. So next episode we're going to be covering Sins Rising.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be caught up essentially, because we'll be in the middle of the Last Remains arc.
Yay!
So
we have
eventually
to condense everything.
Yeah, eventually we'll be doing it live.
Yes,
live.
Yeah, we'll be doing
live from New York. It's Saturday night.
Spideydude Network.
Yeah, the Spideydude Network will be live eventually.
We can give a real good in-depth analysis.
And so I will say this.
Or we'll be distracted by comments.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Other people.
Huh?
Okay, I have to say that
Kelly, shots fired right in my soul.
Sorry.
Can I talk about the comics for a minute?
Absolutely.
I really want to talk about it because regardless of the pandemic, regardless of whatever, Nick Spencer is just proving he's proving so much to me all the time, even with Sins Past, with Last Rites, with pretty much everything he's done with Spider-Man in this series, is that how much he gets the character and how much. And when I say that again, I brought up Jameson and everything. I want to bring up the fact that if you would have told me that a writer's going to give Peter Parker a pet,
right?
It's just like, whatever. That's weird.
Yeah.
But when he does it and he makes it Gog.
Yeah.
And for the record, I know Gog only because of Eric Larson's Sinister Six storyline from the adjectiveless Spider-Man series back in the 90s, which is my bread and butter, my Spider-Man. Adam, you read the story as well. When they bring Gog, they brought Gog in the very last issue, and it's a ridiculous comic book, and they even have a little homage to it with you see Vulture and his machine guns, and it's amazing.
By the way,
tacky, but Ryan Ollie somehow makes it something that looks incredibly tacky and look awesome.
Paul,
Eric Larson made it look awesome too, though.
As someone that loves that arc,
I love that arc.
They have made a Marvel Legend of the Cyborg Spider-Man. It's going to be Target exclusive. It's coming out later on this year.
I'm going to buy it.
I would have sold it. I would have sold it to you if my job didn't hate me.
Well, I will. Like, seriously though, here's the deal, and let me finish this, and I'll be done. I promise. Okay. The thing is, with Nick Spencer, he manages to give us something that seems so obvious. Because one of the last things, and Adam, I want you to follow up because I know you agree with me on this one. I think anyway. One of the things that I just was like blown away of is that. Well, when he writes about why he has Gog in the first place is because of the responsibility aspect that he has towards this creature. And I just love the fact, as an animal lover as myself, and who has 2 dogs in his family and loves them as children and treats them as his children. And I know people would criticize that. What's that?
There's a Wayland cameo.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And as someone who and then has a human child now, appreciates the fact that they are different, but yet they're very similar as well. And I love my dogs like crazy, and there's a huge responsibility aspect to that. And I love the fact that Nick Spencer acknowledges that, gives us that, and also it's like, why didn't someone do this before? And that to me is the genius of Nick Spencer. He's taking Spider-Man and doing things like, why didn't we do that? And he keeps doing it. And we get that in Last Rites. We're getting that in especially in Sins Past, which I can't wait to get into. But throughout this whole
You mean
series.
Sins Rising, not Sins Past.
Oh, whatever it is.
Freudian slip.
I've
Oh,
got.
God.
I got a thing that I want to say on that.
Yeah, good.
All right, so feeding, because I really do like I dislike this theory, just because I feel like the ship has sailed, but the recurring theme of responsibility, like just like in general, that Spencer has been weaving in and out through this. Do you, especially now that kind of like, we're seeing a lot of references to One More Day, do you think that this is all leading to the baby, whether it be little Annie in the brain or baby May, that we don't really know what happened to, because we assume she died on international waters, but we never really found out. So
if they finally resolve baby May as a subplot, my father is going to lose his mind.
To be honest, I think, and I don't remember if it's been on this show. I think maybe on my other podcast I talked about it. But with the addition of Miles Morales and now the whole idea of Spider-Man has to be single, it's completely out the window. And with all of that, you now can age. You can give Spider-Man a family. Right. And have multiple Spider-Man and doing different things, like a Miles be like the young hip, and I say that not in an insult way, but you know what I mean, like the younger.
In a weird, real quick, in a weird way. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll come back around.
In a weird way, Miles Morales has kind of been the single greatest boon to Spider marriage stands.
Yeah. Yep.
Because previously. Miles or Peter had been touted as like the young single mid-20s.
He's about the youth.
Yes, he's about the youth. But then Miles comes in, and because before 2017 Miles had no character.
Wrong again, Neil, but anyway, continue.
But
shots fired.
But
I would love to debate you on
Miles. Okay, we will talk about this later. Go.
I know.
Sit down, child.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa!
All right. I'm gonna,
who's the child in this scenario?
I'm gonna jump. I'm just gonna jump in with my stuff, so we don't have like a fight across country.
Get me my mallet.
But the thing is basically Miles is what they tried to make Ben Reilly, and it just didn't work. And so, it's the kind of situation of where, like, in terms of merchandising, we desperately wanted something for May and Spider-Girl, which, aka, it's taken me 1 hour and 37 minutes before actually referencing Spider-Girl. Good job, me. But it's also, too, like, that's how we have all this merchandise for Spider-Gwen, because it was essentially just, oh, hey, here's these missed opportunities. Now, the way they handled Miles, I think, was really brilliant, because he isn't from this world, and honestly, like, neither is Gwen. But it leads credence that he can grow. But what I was going to state, though, was like the writers, too. Back in that day, a large part of those writers were always kind of single and young, and they generally like kind of left as they like were settling down. Versus now, you have a vast array of like people in different points in their lives still writing Spider-Man, and they realized too they alienated a lot of fans who were growing and had like different points of like living. They were alienating them by basically saying that the marriage was null. So there's this whole thing that Marvel is different now than they were then, and they're a lot more encompassing and welcoming into a different form of storytelling, at least for a little bit of time.
Well, for as much criticism as I give Joe Quesada, and we talked about this on Make My Mayday, I think his heart was always in the right place when it came to the marriage.
Yeah.
I just think he was profoundly misguided in that stance. And you know what? He had the keys to the kingdom at the time. He can do whatever he wants. And he did. But removing Axel Alonso from the equation has made it to where there's been this cloud since 2007 that's been hanging over Spider-Man. And now Nick Spencer has said, okay, this cloud that's been hanging over Spider-Man, let's make a story out of it. And that's what I feel like this Kindred situation is. Do I feel like that Sins Rising went on way too long? You'll have to find out next episode.
I take it because you took the time to say that yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you on this one.
You kind of went out of your way to accentuate that.
Look, we've got. We're just teasing to a new episode. It's fine. We'll figure it out later. Because
Zach Joyner will return in Avengers Endgame.
Yes, he will.
No, Paul, what's your grade on this?
I'll give it an A. I think these are really good, fun issues, and yeah.
To me, they read better as a whole. You know, having that gap probably didn't help. But going back and reading this in trade, or reading this as a group,
you should have waited like me. That's what I did. When they all came out, I read them, and
we didn't have that luxury, Adam.
We read them in real time, so you don't have
That's true.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and here's the thing. When we get caught up, which is probably going to be like December-ish,
soon, yeah.
It's going to be one of those things where when we're more current, you know, right now we have a little bit of the beauty of hindsight. Going through these issues, going through these things and doing these things creates the ability for us to kind of go back and say, okay, this the first issue we covered in this episode is kind of an important issue because it kind of starts setting the tone for Sins Rising. It starts setting the tone for Last Remains. The road to 850 literally is starting in our next episode. So for this, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of what we read today was dark. This
very
was
family
necessary.
friendly veneer.
Yeah, very, very, very dark. So definitely enjoyed this particular arc. I'm going to give it an A-. The last issue for me, kind of, you could tell that it was Otley having to ink his own stuff. And there's the last few pages were super heavy and rough, and it was not nearly the polish that we're used to. Some of that is obviously pandemic related issues, but trust me when I say this, when we get to 850, it's definitely a great payoff. So I have a question for Kelly, because if you haven't listened or haven't gone to our network, I believe I found the first appearance of May on a cover.
Well, I
made that joke on Twitter.
Fortnite.
Yes.
So
Fortnite.
Well, that's the only time that we ever saw Mary Jane pregnant on a cover.
Yeah,
the Final Adventure.
No, technically,
the Final Adventure number 4.
Yeah, it's in the issue where she announces she's pregnant.
Yeah,
technically, she'd be pregnant on that cover. So
okay. Well, I said specifically visibly pregnant,
right?
But I didn't. I forgot about Final Adventure. So
I wanted to make this point.
But also,
earlier.
we could make this whole thing that it's not the May we know, therefore, bloody blah blah. So
anyway,
I guarantee you, someone's
not so agreeable. Neil, what were you going to say?
Okay. So there were 2 points. I forgot to finish my Miles point, but the point is that Miles fills in the single young guy niche, and so they needed to give Miles that, and so that frees up Peter to be married again by editorial demand to make him, stand out.
Okay, but look, the fans demand him and Gwen. Just saying, like, demand
whatever.
It's happening.
I don't care.
Deal with it.
Miles and Gwen?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
Yeah,
Whatever.
like the entire reaction of this podcast is I don't care. And then the other is I guarantee someone's waiting to like Winter Soldier Mayday.
No.
Oh, no, we don't need that. Anyway, Agog.
Agog, yes.
Agog.
Agog.
I'm giving the arc an A.
All right, you're giving
Reads
it.
better
All
than
right.
trade.
Grade A. All right, Agog.
Yes.
Go.
Oh, okay. All right. I also give it an A. I waited to read all three of them together at the time. I enjoyed it a lot. The art is great. Reading it again had the same emotional impact it did when I read it the first time. It's a heartwarming story, as I said to Paul on Twitter last night. It's fun. Peter uses his brain to tame Gog pretty much after Boomerang throws the thing and all that. It to me it just works. It's fun. All the Boomerang stuff that Spencer's doing, I think that's kind of my favorite of everything he's been doing so far. I like all this stuff with Randy and Boomerang and Peter. Gog's backstory, great. I don't think like was said earlier, none of us really expected to get all this stuff, with Gog, linking to the tablet and his backstory and whatever. But it works for me. It's a nice little change of pace. I'm fine with him being Peter's pet. That'll probably be gotten rid of like in a few years, I imagine, or
or months.
Even sooner, yeah. Like I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if it wasn't mentioned again after this. But I'm sure there will be some kind of like follow up.
I hope it lasts a little bit longer. I hope it lasts, gives some credence because I do like the aspect. It's not permanent. I get it.
It's just it's enjoyable. I don't know. It's different.
Yes.
It's heartwarming, like I said. It makes you feel something, and we kind of need that in these trying times. And especially
can feel something because I know Neil can't feel anything.
Right. I think about that all the time. And
Kelly is my Kelly is my proxy. She feels for me.
Yes.
Right. It's like sometimes I think I can't feel anything anymore, but then I reread this last night. It's like, okay, I'm not dead yet. So
yeah, I'm glad you're not dead.
Wow, Paul, this got really dark, didn't it?
My heart is my heart is a lump of black iron.
Yeah, you just
feel for me.
I am aware you like the X-Men Hickman saga, so yeah.
Well, you like slot.
Oh God,
save this for me.
Save us, okay.
Gog,
I
save
don't know
us.
if I can. Gog, save us all. May God bless
thing.
and protect you.
This is the breather that we need before all this dark stuff that's culminating, currently. And it's great.
Recording.
It's fantastic. I love it. Gog is cute. Gog is love and life and all of that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Gog is love, Gog is life.
I mean,
I did say that.
He did say that.
I'm going to go cry.
Live, laugh, Gog.
Yes.
All right, Kelly.
All right.
What's your grade?
I give it an A+ overall because I really love it.
She's feeling for me overtime.
Well, I'm going for it in the sense of like, especially after being able to read it together, where it's meant to be kind of read. It's a good, heartwarming story. I enjoy Gog. To me, this was written beautifully. It was drawn beautifully. You can't go wrong with especially as like a first time issue for younger fans. Like there's nothing really crazy, in it that makes it really hard to understand. What is written for Gog helps you understand things as a newer reader or an older reader, because it's Savage Land's been forever. But Waylon loves it. He's got a lot of opinions. And so I mean,
Gog reminds him of him.
Yes. But like I said, I enjoyed it. I do understand people's concerns because it's very much like Pete takes a back burner, but I think a large part of what Spencer has been writing overall has been Peter is taking a back burner on his own life. And how that affects things. So this is kind of that story without hitting you over the head with it, like we get hit over the head with it, and actually confront it later on in which we will talk about in future episodes. So I enjoyed it. I don't know. I liked it. I like GOG. GOG puns have been the gift that keeps on giving in 2020. So
there is a small note that I want to make, and that is how Spencer's been able to tonally handle Spider-Man in terms of tone. Like, this could have easily been like an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, where where Boomerang is Master Shake.
That's just for us. Like, we're Aqua Teen Hunger Force for Spencer's writing. There you go.
Listen,
full circle.
Meatwad was one of the first voices that I figured out that I could imitate. So I love some Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
But my point is that, like, Spencer could have made this into like an Adult Swim comedy episode of his run, but instead he handled with the appropriate tact and emotion that it needed to fully come into its own.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So I think I gave my grade. If I haven't, it's an A.
You gave it an A, yeah.
So, all right, next episode. We're going to wrap it up there, guys. For months, perhaps years, he has crawled in the shadows, manipulating events from afar. Mysterio and Norman Osborn have both known his chilling presence. Now the demon known as Kindred is finally ready to take his revenge, not on Spider-Man, but on Peter Parker. He has resurrected one of Spidey's most disturbing foes, the fanatical Sin Eater, to help him carry out his grand plans. Learn the secret history of the Sin Eater as he embarks on a collision course with Spidey that will have you quaking in your seat. Spider-Man's world's about to explode, and this is where the fuse is lit. Collecting Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 5, number 44 through 47, and Amazing Spider-Man Sends Rising. That's right. Volume 9 is what we're going to be covering.
And then what are they calling Volume 10? Last Remains Part 2?
No, well, Volume 10 has 850 and 48.
Because it has 48 Sins of Norman Osborn and then 850.
Yes. Okay, so it has Amazing Spider-Man Volume 10.
This is the Amazon listings?
Yes, this is from Amazon.
I would go to Comixology, but the Amazon one is probably fine, hopefully.
Well, I mean, it's the same company, so it should be okay, but
it's called
sometimes the listings are messed up on Amazon.
Sometimes. Yeah. So tentatively I think it's called The Return of the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Wait, can I stick things I can stick things in his pouch. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man collects Amazing Spider-Man 4849 Free Comic Book Day 2020, the Spider-Man Venom Spider-Man story.
Oh, does this collect the Black Hat Spider-Man team up?
Yep. Nice. So 48 and 49, which is 850, which is like almost a trade-in by itself.
Yep.
So definitely so that's going to be the next 2 episodes. So we'll be covering volume. We actually may do volume 9 and volume 10 together.
We could do it.
I think we can do it.
If you guys want to do it that way, then sure.
So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not gone to our, it's time to do some hype. All right,
I'm gonna mute myself.
Go to Spideydude Radio at Spideydude Radio on Twitter if you want to follow us on Twitter. Follow us at our Facebook page, Spideydude at Spideydude Network on Facebook. You can also, it is the same URL except Instagram. We'll be putting some more stuff on the Instagrams. But yes, at Spideydude Network on Instagram, at Spideydude Network on Facebook, at Spideydude Radio on Twitter, paypal.me/Spideydude Network if you like this show and you want to help us out. Any and all donations are greatly appreciated. All right. And of course, you can always go to Spidey-Dude.com. We are still working on repairing the website. We are still rebuilding, but all of our shows are now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we bid you adieu. Good night, good luck, stay safe, and we will see you next time when we cover volumes 9 and possibly volume 10.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.